So Claudio attended the Futures Workshop 3 years ago. He did really well, but initially he struggled quite a bit because he's a scientist, right? And he has this scientist mind, the left brain. And he actually found out that he had to relax or open up to his right brain to develop a balanced brain. That's his words. And he trains in the morning, the US hours, and in the afternoon he teaches science. So his trading game is trading the very short time frames. I think 1 minute and lower, right?
I do look at 5 and 15 minutes, but even 15 minutes seems an eternity for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. So now it's my turn for you to ask me questions. I just want to say a couple of things before that. You know several things about me already. We've talked. And I remember so well that when we had our first group meeting, we were talking about intuition, and I told my group, "Oh, I don't have intuition. My wife has intuition, but I don't." And Wojtek, who is another person in my group, said, "Everybody has intuition. It's impossible not to have it. It's just a matter if you're paying attention to it, if you're open to it, and then later, once you find it, starting to trust it." So he helped me a lot with that, with those 3 steps, and I went through them, and now I see completely that my intuition helps a lot. It's also about the mental state. We already talked about meditation. I found a review on Zen 12. If you're interested, I will put it in the chat. It says very nice things about Zen 12, and I pretty much agree with everything it says. So, well, I'll put it in the chat anyway. I think I already copied it. But we're open for questions, so you can ask me anything you want, and I'll try to answer. And if you can open your microphone, I prefer that than writing the questions, but it's up to you.
About Zen 12, did you do all the 12 months, 12 levels, and do you continue it?
Yes. I do once in a while. I did it this morning, Zen 12, last level 12. I did do all the 12 levels, 1 per month. And then I called the company that makes Zen 12, and I said, "Okay, I'm done with the 12 levels. Is there anything else after that?" And they suggested Brain Evolution, which I got it too, and it's an excellent also for meditation. Those meditations are longer, it's 30 minutes. They also have technology in them. I think they actually use both binaural beats and isochronic tones. I was very surprised about that. It's called Brain Evolution, but for a beginner, I suggest to start with Zen 12. Once you do the 12 levels, then you can move on to Brain Evolution. I wouldn't suggest to start with Brain Evolution. I see it as an advanced way of meditating. Very nice. I love Brain Evolution. I already did their 6 levels too, 1 per month also. And so I go back and forth between the last level of Zen 12 and any of the levels of Brain Evolution. That's what I do every morning. What was your road to developing intuition? It was not easy by any means, but the first step is to understand that I did have it when I was saying I didn't. All my life, I had that feeling that I didn't have intuition. I saw other people using intuition. My wife is the perfect example. She has very good intuition about things, and I never used it like that. But it was not easy. And as I said, Wojtek did help me a lot in getting there. And once I found the intuition and I could use it, it's not easy to trust it either. I mean, as much as you want to, sometimes you're like, should I trust this? You don't know what to do, but you just have to let everything go and say, okay, from now on, I'm going to trust my intuition, and that's it. It helps me a lot with exits, especially, but also with how the market moves. If I'm looking at how the market moves in small time frames, it helps me sometimes. Oh, I think it's going to go sideways from here. And if I'm in a trade, I just get out. I don't even think about it anymore. I just get out. That's it. Just because I got that feeling that it's going sideways. And it is not intuition is not a conscious thing that you have to think about it. It's a feeling. And it's very hard to explain the difference between having a feeling that something is going to happen versus thinking that something is going to happen. I have a hard time explaining that part, but hopefully as you progress, you will understand it yourself. As Wostek says, the best way to understand these things is to experience them instead of somebody trying to explain it to you. All right, the questions are coming too fast. Now I have to go up. How fast do you find your patterns on such time frames? Oh, one thing that happened, and this I didn't plan for it. What happened is I started doing real money, or even no, when I started doing real money, I started trading, and my plan was to trade all three systems. And then after 100 trades, I said, I think it's time to see how I'm doing with my trades. And I found out that out of 100 trades, I had done only, I think, like 2 S2s and 1 S3. And I said, oh, it looks like I became a professional S1 trader. So that's what I call myself, a professional S1 trader. And S1s happen so often in any time frame, but in 5 and 15 seconds, they're happening all the time. So the first thing, just like Gabriel says, I look for a trend, right? And then I go, and if I haven't done this experiment, but I was thinking about it the other day. If I stay, let's say 30 minutes in a 5-second chart, I can almost bet you I will find several S1 trades. If I know there's a trend already in the time frame, in the high time frame, I can find so many S1s in those 30 minutes. It's incredible, and you develop that vision to instantly when an S1 is happening. It again is more of a feeling than looking for it. It comes to you instead of you going to look for it. And that's what makes it so easy to do it in those time frames. How exactly was it helping you, Brain Evolution and Zen 12? Well, the word exactly doesn't fit here, because all this thing about mental state, there is no exactly, right? You realize there is no exactly. Everything is subjective. There is no science, at least from my point of view of science, meaning the facts is what guides me when I do science or when I'm in the lab doing experiments. Here, there is no exact thing. It helps you in so many ways that you don't even understand them. And not only in trading, but also in my personal life. The few things I can say that where meditation has helped me is being a lot more calm. One of my first conversations with Gabriel were about, the first thing I told him is, Gabriel, I'm a very emotional person. I get very excited when things go well, and I don't like it, and I don't feel good at all when I lose. And Gabriel said, yep, that is normal, but if you work on your mental state, that will go away. To be honest, I kind of didn't believe him, but because I respect Gabriel so much, I said, he's probably right. I just have to be patient and get for it, and it will happen. And the other thing I told him was, I'm an impatient person. I cannot wait and this is in my life. This is in general, right? Not just in trading. And now it's completely the opposite. Completely the opposite. I'm not impatient anymore. I can wait for things. If things don't happen, I'm okay with that. In terms of my emotions, everything calmed down. And as I said before, meditation was the first step in getting to this point for me. Maybe not everybody meditation will work the same way, but for me, it was a big step. So that's why I really suggest that everybody should be meditating. But some people say, well, I can't, or I won't, or whatever. We are all different. And that's okay too. I mean, we all accept our own things and go our own ways, and that's okay too. All right. Same question as Orlando. Do you connect your meditation practice to the development of intuition? Have you practiced mindfulness meditation? I learned a lot about mindfulness, and in terms of meditation, I like Zen 12 and brain evolution so much that I don't differ from it. Sometimes, once in a while, when I feel like things are not well in my mind at any time of the day, I just close my eyes and take some deep breaths and, try not to think of anything without no Zen 12, no nothing. And that calms me down too. So you get to a point where you don't need to do a whole Zen 12 meditation. You can get to a point where just a little, I don't even know what to call that, but a little meditation will help. In terms of mindfulness, I read several books and even a course. There's a very good course in Audible. If anybody has Audible from Amazon, there's a very good course about mindfulness, and it tells you exactly a lot of things about mindfulness and meditation. I learned a lot from that course. And at that time, I didn't know the difference between meditation and mindfulness. And the course says that the analogy is meditation is to exercise, like mindfulness is to fitness. So there you go. If you do your meditation, you're going to be mindful. If you do exercise, you're going to be fit. That's the way I understood it better. Before that, I didn't have a good idea on what that was going on. I'm at the end of level 1 of Zen 12, and I agree with what Claudio just said, even though I've been on it just 1 month. I'm glad, Orlando. I'm glad you at least gave it a try. And they give you 1 month for free. Am I correct in that? Did anybody, Orlando, is the first month free? I think I remember that, but I'm not sure.
That wasn't my experience. I got it with a discount, but as I was buying it, they were selling you, like me, a lot of other things.
Yes, yes. That's the part that I hate about this is you do get several emails from them every day about selling other stuff.
Yes. So unless I saw it in Gabriel's slide saying that this helped someone, I would have never bought it because of how many emails and how pushy they were in terms of like selling it.
Yes.
I have to be certain that this is fraud. It's only because I saw it in Gabriel's slide and I trust and respect Gabriel very much. That's why I decided, okay, I'm gonna try it. But the amount of promotional emails, the amount of like cross-selling is so big, I would have never bought it otherwise.
Absolutely. So tell me a little more about your experience with the first level.
It was, I don't know, it was pretty simple. You buy it, you listen to it, and when I listen to it, I try not to think about everything else, but sometimes I do think about something else anyway. And it's sort of, I don't know, I feel like it helps. It makes me more calm during not just trading, but in real life as well. So I do feel it. I do feel like it helps, and it helps me focus right after the
Yes.
meditation. So I usually do it in the morning, either before work or before trading, before anything. And when I do it, not before trading, but especially if I'm not trading, if I plan to do some work during some other than trading works, it helps me to focus. I would say I'm gaining more productive time from it than those 20 minutes that I spend on listening to it.
Perfect. Let me say something now. Zen 12 is not, what should I say? It's not the solution for everybody. Zen 12 is a tool, right? And the tool, the way it helped me at the beginning is I could, even though I knew how to meditate, I couldn't meditate without this tool. I couldn't do it every day. I could meditate like 5 minutes here and there, one day yes, 2, 3 days no. I was all over the place. When I started with Zen 12, I felt it was so easy to do that I could do it every day with no problem. So that tool helped me to get consistent with my meditation. And the fact that it gives you 1 hour of, the technology, you only do 12 minutes of meditation and it gives you the same result as if you meditated for 1 hour. That's what I'm trying to say. So those two things makes it a great tool in my view. By the way, Orlando, you can always stop the marketing just by blocking it or putting it to go to junk or whatever, which I did because I agree with you, it was way too much. At the beginning, I was interested in other things they were selling, but then when it got too much, I'm like, no, I cannot deal with this. So if somebody wants to buy Zen 12 and you have a junk, I call it a junk email that you made up just for all the junk that you're going to get, use that junk email. Don't use your normal email because you do get a lot. It's way too much. You're developing your sixth sense. That's great, Claudio. Yeah, that is true. I do recognize it as a sixth sense as well. Can you expand on your transition from simulation to demo trading to trading real money and how you do with TradingView in particular, and how you do it, I guess. How do you do it with in TradingView? All right, so from simulation to demo trading, as Gabriel said at the beginning, I struggled a lot. When I was in the workshop, I was in the same, as Gabriel pointed out the other day. I was laughing because I'm like, Gabriel is describing exactly what I was doing when I was doing the workshop. You know, you're worried about getting everything. You're worried about, oh, do I really understand this? Oh, what does this mean? Asking a lot of questions. Gabriel says he doesn't remember, but I'm pretty sure I'm the person in all the time that Gabriel has given this workshop, I'm the person that has asked the most questions of Gabriel in a workshop. I'm sure of that, without any doubt. So that was me. Then when we went to simulation, things start, by then, you know, there's a period in between and you start thinking about everything that Gabriel says. You review the recordings and you start thinking about things and say, all right, I need to calm down. I was going crazy. It's time to calm down. And by then, of course, now I'm doing meditations. Things are coming different in my mind. Simulation went very well for me. I didn't do a lot of it I'm being honest. I didn't do a lot of simulation. I think I should have done more. Yes, I should have done more simulations. But I did, at that time, I did what I thought was enough for me. Now looking back, I say I should have done more. Okay. And then going from there to LMP, LMP was the greatest thing for me. I really loved LMP. When we go through demo trading first, on live market, demo trading for half of the LMP, and then the other half, you can start real money, which I did. And then at some point, I think I went back to demo trading after LMP for a little while, and then I started real trading, real money trading. And it has been very well. I mean, I've been consistently making money, not with a lot of, my consistency is actually when I did my famous spreadsheets that I like to do, I found out that I was doing closer to five hours a month than 2 hours per week. And I was okay with that. I said, that's consistent enough for me. 5% a month, that's 60% a year. That's plenty. I don't need more than that. But if I can get more, that's fine too. But that's the minimum that Gabriel tells us to go for, and that was working for me. Mentally, it takes out a lot of pressure by thinking like that you don't need. First of all, I do believe in all my heart, from the first time Gabriel said it, that one trade is enough. You don't need to do 100 trades a month. You don't need to do 10 trades a week. You don't need to do any of that. What is going to make you the money is the position sizing later. So that's the way it works. And I'm glad Gabriel taught us that. I'm very grateful to him that he changed completely my mindset in terms of how to deal with that aspect of your goal. Because we all have the goal as traders. By the way, I've been trading before Gabriel. I forgot to say this. Before Gabriel, I've been trading for more than 15 years. I learned a lot about options. I love to trade options. I would make money, I would lose money, and my problem was not being consistent. I was also the kind of trader that likes to modify strategies, thinking that I'm making them better. And then later they don't work anymore. I forgot what I modified, and then I'm lost. That was me before Gabriel. And Gabriel basically put me in the right path, I feel. I wish I would have found Gabriel when I started trading as opposed to 15 years later. But such is life, and you accept it and go on. With smaller time frames, you only trade 1 to 2 hours a session or day. I don't have a determined amount of time that I'm trading. I can trade for, sometimes I can do one trade in 5 or 15 seconds or 1 minute and say, okay, that's enough. I don't need to trade anymore. Sometimes I can, so I don't have I'm going to sit down and trade for 2 hours. I don't have that mentality. Whatever I feel like doing, I do it. And that's part of being in a good mental state too. You see, FOMO is long gone for me, long gone. I remember so well, one time I sent an email to Gabriel. I don't know if you showed it, Gabriel, because you did show it last time. My email to you saying how frustrated I was. Did you show it this time? Because I haven't been in all the sessions.
I think it comes up in bootcamp when I show it.
Oh, okay.
Bootcamp.
All right. So wait for it in bootcamp then. That I was so frustrated about FOMO. I was going crazy, and all that is gone, completely gone. I tell everybody that I went through a transformation. That's the only way I can describe what happened to me. because going from left brain to a balanced brain, going from not having intuition to having intuition, going from emotional and impatient to now calm, cool, and collected, and I accept whatever comes up. If I win or lose, I accept it. It's not a big deal for me. It doesn't affect me in any shape or form on my mental. Oh, one more thing that is very, very key that I wanted to say. And this was Washtek again, who taught me this. He was doing it himself, and he said, I don't focus on the results. I focus on the process. And I took that to heart too. I'm like, yes, that makes sense. So the way I did it, because I'm the kind of person that, let's say I made 2 trades today. I need to go and put them in a spreadsheet and analyze the data. How does it look? Not the results, not the trade itself. Analyze the results. How am I doing? And all this and that. I did that all my trading life. I completely changed that one, because I said, if I'm going to focus on the process and not the results, I don't even need to see the results. So what started happening is I would trade for 1 week, and somebody would ask me at the end of the week, how is your trading going this week? I think I'm a little bit up. I think I'm a little bit down. I think it's going well. And that's all I could say. I couldn't say how many hours did I win or lose, because I was not checking. And that helped me a lot, because concentrate on the process, learning the process until you can flawless execute it. That is key at the beginning. The results doesn't matter. What matters is that you can follow the rules, find the patterns, do your trades, do them flawlessly, find all the patterns that you can, and that's it. That's all that matters. The results don't matter at the beginning. And we all, including me, are the kind of person that we concentrate on the results, because that's human nature. And Washtek taught me that, and that was a big thing for me. I exaggerated to the point that sometimes a whole month would go by and I still don't know how I'm doing. And then I go and check, oh, I'm up so this many hours, good. But the advantage of doing it like that too is that 1, 2, 3 bad trades won't affect you on how you do the next trade, because that's also human nature. If you lose several trades in a row, the next day when you come to trade, you have all that in your mind, and you're like, oh, you start to fear what's going to happen today. By not paying attention what losses I have, how many losses I have, not paying attention to the results at all, I have a completely new day the next day without even thinking what happened in the past. And that's the best way to trade. You're ready to go no matter what happened before. The past is gone. Be in the present, like Eckhart Tolle says. By the way, I love Eckhart Tolle books, so I think you should start reading those too. What about working on beliefs regarding your trading? At which point, at which point in your development did you start with that? How did you approach it? That, I'm going to be honest, that has been one of my struggles, is working on my beliefs. And I talked to Gabriel at one point about it, saying, Gabriel, I cannot figure out how to get my beliefs out. And of course, I started writing a lot of beliefs, but what I was looking for is what Gabriel and Van Tarp call limiting beliefs, right? My limiting beliefs about money, my limiting beliefs about trading. And I couldn't find those. Gabriel gave me several tips to try. I still struggle. Washtek told me one day, take an empty page out, white sheet of paper, put at the top my beliefs, and leave it on your desk, and you will start writing on that. And I did it. I put it on my desk. 1 month later, I found it on my desk under a lot of stuff on top of it with nothing written on it. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. Then I think the Sedona method also was a big key for me in this transformation. When I did the Sedona method, one of the things I let go, because it teaches you how to let go. By the way, Sedona method is another tool. It's not for everybody. It worked very well for me, but it's another tool, right? And we have to see each thing as it is. The Sedona method, one of the things I was struggling with when I was doing Sedona method was this belief stuff, the belief work. And I did what, the process that they tell you to let go of stuff. So I let go of the beliefs, and that was it. I never came back. I never came back to it. I never did any work on beliefs. I couldn't find my beliefs. At that point, I wasn't worried about beliefs anymore. I'm like, I think I'm in a good mental state. I don't need to do the beliefs work that Gabriel wants us to do. And that was it. I never came back to beliefs. So that's one thing I didn't do. Again, we're all different, and some people need it, other people need less of it or more of it or none of it, like me. As I said, I did write down a few beliefs. I think I wrote down like 60 beliefs. This was way at the beginning. But in those 60 beliefs, I didn't find anything that was limiting me. And I'm like, how do I find those? Never happened. Anika, what do you do after you reach your weekly art target? I don't do anything. I just let it go. I know Petra gets 2R and she's happy with that and she stops trading. I don't do anything. If I get 2R or 5R or 10R, it doesn't matter to me. I just keep going. If the next day I feel like trading, I trade. If I don't feel like trading, I don't trade. By the way, I do know exactly when I'm not ready to trade. Some people have trouble with that. Oh, do I have a good mental state for trading today? They have to ask themselves and they have to figure it out. I don't. I know exactly. I feel it right away. Something happened the day before that got me anxious, or I'm angry, or any little emotion that I feel the previous day sometimes comes up in the morning. I remember it, and that's it. I'm not trading today. And that's it. You see, I don't have a specific time that I trade. I don't have trading days. I trade, don't trade. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's all good. And you have to accept whatever happens. If I didn't trade the other day, it did happen. I didn't trade, and then I come to the computer, look at the charts, and it was a big day down. And I'm like, there could have been very good trades today because it was a big day down. That's okay. I missed it. That's okay. It's not a big deal. There will be more. That's another thing. Your thoughts about abundance are critical. There is plenty of trades to go around. Plenty of them. Believe me, you cannot do all of them for sure. And they never end. They just keep coming. So just wait for the next one. That's all. So yeah, I do try to get to the 2R target, but if I get there or don't get there, it really doesn't matter to me. And as I said, I still have that idea that I don't look at the results. Whatever happens, happens when it happens. if you can answer briefly, how is mindfulness like, not like in the now? I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. How is mindfulness like, not like in the now? All right, I know what it is to be in the now. And I try to do it as much as possible. It's not easy sometimes. By not easy, what I mean is, you know, thoughts come, just like Orlando said when he's meditating. The thoughts come and you cannot avoid it. They just come about the future, about the past. And you're supposed to let them go, right? They come and you let them go. And that's it. That's being in the now for me. Mindfulness, as I said, mindfulness is that if you do meditation, then you're being mindful. That's as much as I know about mindfulness. I don't know how mindfulness connects with in the now. Sorry, Jose. Do you find certain markets show you more opportunity at your low time frame, or do all markets work for you at the low time frames? I've never looked trading such low time frames until now. This looks like a belief I should look at. Oh, interesting. Yeah. No, you find in the low time frames, you find trades in anything. It doesn't matter what time of day. It doesn't matter what instrument or contract you look at. It doesn't matter. The beginning, I did notice that I was doing a lot of trades in the natural gas, which Gabriel warned us that natural gas has a mind of its own, and it does. I agree. It goes up and down completely different than anybody else in all the instruments we have. And I think I like that. I don't know. I got attracted to it at some point, but then I don't get stuck on natural gas, right? It's working fine. Let me find trades if they are there. But I'm not like, oh, now I need to pay attention on natural gas. No. All of them, I scan through all the instruments looking for any trade in the 5, 15 seconds, and 1 minute. If I don't find anything in that moment, then I look at the 5-minute chart. If I don't find anything there, I look at the 15-minute charts. And that's as far as I go. And if I find something in the 15 minutes that, let's say, the test bar is about to happen or it's already happening, I put an alert on it. It takes forever to get there for me. And then I may get in or out. We'll see when the test bar happens, right? But that's as far as I go. There is no way I'm going to do 1 hour and above. No, that's not for me. But yeah, don't think that time of day matters. Don't think that the instruments matter. They don't. They really don't. Regarding simulation and actual trading, can you introduce us to your trading view setup and tools? Well, not today, but you know, as you get into simulation and all that, I'm not going away. I'm staying with Gabriel, right? So I'll be here when you start simulating. I'll be here when you do LMP. I'll be here talking to you guys about trading view, about the scanning tables that we're going to see next. I'll be here. I'll do live trading with you guys if you want to do a session with me. I've done it with other groups and I have no problem doing it. So I can show you exactly how I do 5 and 15 seconds in live, right? In the live trading. There is no question about it, but I'm not today. Gabriel is in charge today. What was it that made you commit 100% to Gabriel's system, given your previous 15 years experience? Good question. I love that question. I guess Gabriel inspired me. One thing that happened, I got Gabriel's information from Ray. I think Gabriel already mentioned Ray to you guys. I talked to her one day because Van Tarp, in one of the courses that I took, suggested that we find a mentor And I'm like, where am I going to find a mentor for trading? I've been doing this for 15 years. I've never been able to find a mentor for trading. And so I wrote to Van Tarp and I wrote an email and I said, how can I find a mentor? I don't know how. Can you help me out? And he suggested to talk to Ray and one other person, Eduardo Beruf. Both of them very nice people. Both of them were in the Super Traders program for Van Tarp. And Ray talked to me about Gabrielle's stuff, which she was doing at that time. And she said, you should check it out. So at this time, I already knew about SQN. I knew about trying to find a trading strategy that fits your personality. I knew several things that I could ask Gabriel up front before the workshop. So I did. I sent him an email and I asked him these things. I said, what are the SQN numbers for your systems? He sent me the answer with the SQN numbers. I asked him, how do I know if your strategies will fit my personality? And he said, we have a deal that you can come the first day, and if you don't like it, you will know right away, he said. And if you don't like it, you just don't come anymore and you get your money back. And I'm like, okay, that's a good deal. So I was okay with trying it, right, for the first day. I didn't need the whole day to know that this was it for me. Within 1 hour of listening to Gabriel, I knew this was for me. Again, even though I didn't know it, I had intuition. I think my intuition was telling me at that time that Gabriel was it for me. So it just happened that day, and the rest is history, as they say. Or that first hour, I didn't even need the whole day. Do you have ways to put your emotions in place in case you don't have the necessary mood? No, I never try to control my emotions or put them in place, as you're saying. Whatever happens, happens. If the emotion comes, fine, I'll deal with it. I just won't trade that day. If there's an emotion present, I won't trade. That's all. If I'm cool, calm, and collected, I go on into trading, no problem. But I never try to control the emotions. Never. It's not that easy. I don't have them as often as I did before either. You know, before, if I had a good win, let's say a 10-hour win, I would get so emotional. This is before Gabriel. Oh my God, I'm a genius. I can do this. Oh, you know, all this euphoria, as Gabriel says, I went through all that. And if I had a big loss, oh my God, I was so sad. It was amazing. Now, not anymore. No, all those things are in the past. Live trading with Claudio is great fun. Oh, thank you, Petra. Yeah, I'll let you say more, Petra. You've done it with me more than once, live trading. So please.
Yeah, it is really amazing because you can see really Claudio's intuition coming through. And I remember, you know, he says, I don't like this now because the trend, there's a reversal now. And here we go, you know. He didn't take the S1 short because it was a trend reversal. Or he says, I said, you know, I don't like this test bar. I don't like the test bar activity. And he said, looks good to me. And off it goes. So you see his intuition really coming through when you do live trading with him. It's super.
Yeah, thank you, Petra. I do a lot of that, especially on the exits. You know, I try to go with the algorithm. I try, meaning I'm using it. I'm still using it at this time. But if at any moment I feel that feeling that I get out, I get out. That's it. No questions asked, no thinking, no criticism, no judgments. And if it keeps going after I get out, I'm okay with that. You see, that's the other part that you need to be okay with. If I get out and the price action still goes in my favor, it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't. Whatever happens, happens. I got out, and that's all that counts. Do you use futures or CFDs to trade? Yes, I'm in the US, so I cannot use CFDs, but I've heard about them. The good thing is you can do a lot less position size. I started trading with minis and micros only because I don't have a big account size. And very recently, I'm thinking about a month ago, Gabriel told me, and he specifically said the equities. He said, I think if you're trading those low time frames that you're trading, you may be able to trade the regular contract instead of the micros and the equities. He specifically said equities. And I said, yeah, my thinking was that with a $10,000 account, I don't have enough margin to do the regular contracts. And from that conversation with Gabriel, I said, maybe I will try all of them in demo account, right? So I have my demo account set up for $10,000 account. Oh, by the way, I did that from the beginning. When you do demo trading, set up your demo account to whatever your real account will be in the future. Don't take the $1 million that they give you for demo money, because then it doesn't mean anything. You have to make it realistic to what you're going to do later. Now, if your trading account is going to be $1 million, then leave it at $1 million. That's fine too. But I wanted to start with $10,000. I already knew that. So I put my demo account at $10,000. And now I did it again. I reset it to 10,000 to do the regular contracts. And so far it's working, Gabriel, even in all contracts, except maybe for platinum, which I was not trading anyway. It's too expensive. Palladium is not even in my watch list because it's even more expensive. So except for those two, everything else seems to be okay. And then I realized one more thing. You see, my doubt about using a $10,000 account to do regular contracts was also about the margin, that if I do 2 or 3 trades at the same time, then I may not have enough margin to do all the trades I want to do. But I hadn't looked at the other side, that by doing 5-15 seconds, I only do 1 trade at a time. So I don't have 2 or 3 trades going on at the same time. I don't. I do 1 at a time. I do a 5 or 15, it ends, I look for another one. And when that ends, I look for another one. I don't have 2 or 3 trades at the same time. So I'm like, I think I can trade all of them, except for platinum and palladium. I think I can trade all of them. I don't do interest rates, by the way. That's out of my watch list too. Do you still trade options? Yes, I do. I sell puts. I love to do spreads. I haven't done spreads in a while. Lately, it's been more about selling puts. So yeah, I still trade options. I cannot let go of options, but not with Gabriel's system. Oh, by the way, Gabriel, somebody suggested, why don't you trade options on the futures? And I remember you told us, but this was 3 years ago, that options on futures are not very liquid. I was wondering if they're more liquid now. Do you know?
It's not so much a matter of not liquid. The position size is quite big, so it's more or less equal to the future. So then it doesn't make too much sense. But option on ETFs, yeah, option on the gold ETF.
Yeah, you've always said that options on ETFs are okay. which I've never tried, by the way. I've never tried that, to do options on ETFs or even trade ETFs connected to the futures. I haven't tried that. I've only done futures. That's it. How strictly are you following Gabriel's strategy rules? How much discretion are you using? I have a little story about that. I started being very strict with the rules, and I do suggest that you do too. Gabriel has said it more than once. Be strict with the rules at the beginning. And one day, we were comparing trades in my group, and Washtec and Olga had trades that I was looking at them at the trade log, and I said, I wouldn't do that trade. That trade doesn't look good for me. Olga, I cannot even see an S1 pattern in your trade. They were putting a lot of discretion in their trades. And I realized I'm being very strict with my trades. I'm not making money. They're putting a lot of discretion in their trades. They're making the money. So it was obvious what I needed to do, right? Put more discretion. And that's what I started doing. And around the same time, I started getting better guidance from my intuition and all that. So intuition, I think it's critical for the discretion part. It's not completely necessary, but it helps a lot. As Petra said, and it is true, in the 5 and 50 seconds, there is not much time to think, right? To analyze a trade or a pattern and see if it's the perfect quality or everything. I still need the 3 touches for S1. I still need a good test bar. I still need the touch of the 21 in the middle frame. I'm being honest, I don't look at the touch of the 5 in the high frame anymore. But those things are basic, right? Those have to happen. Sometimes I have put discretion on the test bar touching the 21 in the middle frame, but it's not the common thing to do. So yeah, now I'm using a lot more discretion. Things are a lot more open, and it's a lot easier to trade that way for me. But at the beginning, you have to learn the rules and you have to practice them. And the only way to do it is to be strict about it. Otherwise, don't try to put discretion too early in your trading career with Gabriel. Don't try to put discretion too early. I've heard Gabriel already say it to you guys. I'm just confirming it. Don't go crazy about putting discretion. Learn the rules well, practice them. That's what simulation is for. And you should follow the rules, especially in the simulation, all the rules. Very strict about them and all that. Later, the discretion will come. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Can you talk about your before and after, your skill development of this chart and things that helped? Oh, this chart. Your skill before and after. Yes, when we finished the workshop, I felt I knew the systems very well, but when I looked at this chart, it's like, oh my God, knowing the system is only the beginning. There's a lot of work to do. And I didn't realize that early enough. Let's put it that way. But yeah, my development went very fast on the flawless execution. Why? Because I was concentrating on the process, as I told you. Concentrating on the process made that flawless execution just explode. If I didn't do that and I was looking at the results and all that, I think it would have been a different story. Pattern recognition also went very fast. That's all I was concentrating on, recognizing the patterns and getting those things going very fast. Higher time frame analysis, to this day, I still don't do much of that. meaning the high frame. I don't look at it that much. I do sometimes, but not all the time. Discretion, I already talked about discretion, confidence building. Concentrate on the process and not the results, I think gave me the biggest confidence boost that I could get. So I do recommend concentrate on the process, whatever that means for you, because it may mean different things for different people, right? I exaggerated my concentration on the process on purpose, knowing how I was doing before I did that. So whatever works for you, but concentrate on the process. To what extent do you look at the quality of trades before entering? As I said, there is not much time to analyze the trades in 5 and 15 seconds. Tony, who is also in my group, once said to me that, and it kind of made sense. He said he thought that because I've done so many trades at that point, and I got to flawless execution where I can do the execution with no problem, meaning the logistics of actually doing the trade, putting the line, looking at the test bar, putting the stop, putting the order in, all that was flawless at this point, right? And he said, you've done so many of those that he thought I was already, you need to read the book Blink, which Gabriel also suggests to everybody to read, to understand how by looking at something in a couple of seconds, you know if it's good or bad. You already know. It's, there is no time to look at each and every quality thing on this trade. You look at it, you know if you, as Wostek used to say when we were trading together, I like this pattern, and we would say, why? And he would say, I don't know, I like the structure. None of us knew what that meant, only he knew what it meant, but it worked for him, right? So there's different ways to do it, different ways to express it, but at the end, it all comes down to the same thing, doing your own trading your own way, right? Why don't you trade interest rate futures? Because when we started with Gabriela, the workshop, or even through bootcamp and LMP, this was 3 years ago, the interest rates were not moving. They were completely stagnant. They were not moving at all, right? Then all this craziness started happening with the pandemic and all this, and the interest rates went crazy. I didn't put them in my watch list, and at this point, I don't feel I need them. What I have is enough. It works. So I don't need more things to trade, right? I'm not looking for more things to trade either. I have 4, 8, 12 contracts on my watch list. They're on my scanning tables, and then I have them all set up in my watch list, so I can go to any and all of them at any time. And that's enough. I don't need interest rates. No, even though now they are moving. I know they're moving, but I don't need them. Are there any markets that you avoid because they do not seem to behave well? What do you mean by markets? Do you mean contracts, instruments? Is that what you mean by markets? Or do you mean by markets, equities, metals, energies? Please tell me what you mean. Gabriel has a good practical idea how we can learn to trust our intuition once we can flawlessly execute with the rules. Agreed. Thank you, Petra. Very well said. What is your best advice to us going forward? I think I already gave you several advices. Right now, my best advice I can give you for right now where you are, take it easy. Take it easy on yourself. Take it easy on your trading. Don't drive yourself crazy like I did. I did it. I know how it feels. I know how you feel because I was there where you are now. So that's my best advice for you right now at this point. Take it easy on yourself, on your trading, on your learning. Of course, get your learning going, right? Get to know the systems, get to practice them and all that, but don't go crazy about it. I think that's my best advice. What question would you ask yourself that we haven't asked yet? Oh my God. That's a good question. What question would I ask myself? Oh, wow, that you guys haven't asked. I've talked so much that I don't know. Let me think about it a little bit. I'll come back to it. Something will pop up. What is your belief in selling puts? What is my belief in selling puts? I'm actually following an alert system. They claim, and this is my belief, this is where my belief comes in. They claim, and I believe it's true because I have actually confirmed it, that they have had 100% winners selling puts. The issue is, and I got in trouble with this issue, the issue is what they do is when something, because of course they are not going to win every single trade they make, right? Some of them are underwater when it comes to expiration date. So what they do is they roll it over to the next month. And they keep rolling it over until it becomes a winner. That's how they get to 100% wins. The issue is that some of those can take forever, especially with the pandemic and the market went down. A couple of stocks that I had puts in went under and haven't come back. They still send alerts on rolling them over, and you should be rolling them over. But the problem is, what I didn't realize at that time is you have to have enough money to keep doing those rollovers, because the lower the price of that stock goes, the more margin you need to keep doing that. And I didn't realize that. So I got in trouble for that. I'm being honest. I got in trouble for that. Oh, Jose, you mean instruments. Let me go back to that question. Is there any instruments that you avoid because they do not seem to behave well? No, there isn't. I don't care. Well, let me be honest and say that the scanning tables is my big guidance. You will see them in a few minutes. It's my big guidance, and whatever is happening in the scanning tables, I just act on it. I don't think, oh, this guy does. Let me give you an example. Heating oil. This chart looks different, looks weird, or whatever. Never. I never think of that. The heating oil is going down right now. There is a trend in the 1 minute and the 5 minutes. I can find a pattern in the 5 or 15 seconds. I'll go and find it. If it's not there, I keep looking. If I don't find anything, I may come back to heating oil, and that's all I do. I don't judge the charts. Oh, this chart doesn't look right. We have our, Gabriel gives us a very good set of rules, starting with the trend. If the trend is there, look for the pattern. Trend is not there, don't even look. It's that easy, right? It doesn't matter what instrument it is. It really doesn't to me. It doesn't matter what instrument it is. I'll trade them all. Okay, I have to go back over here. Did you stop live trading when you took this course? Be more focused on process. Did you stop live trading? You mean the trading that I was doing before when I took the workshop? Did I stop the live trading? I stopped everything except for selling those puts that I just talked about. I've been doing that for a while. I got in trouble, but I still like it, so I keep doing it. But everything else I stopped, yes. Whatever strategies I was using before Gabriel, I stopped all that. The puts are easy because you get an email saying what stock to do, what strike to sell, on what expiration date. I just execute it on my trading account. That's all. That's all I have to do. And then if it's under by the time of expiration, they send you an email, roll it over. This past Friday, we closed one that we had that was expiring. We closed it because it was around at the money, and it was a small win, and fine, we closed it. They told us to close it. I closed it. That's it. Very easy to do. Stop trading in real money. Yeah, I stopped everything before Gabriel. What's the next step for you trading this system or trading in general? I started learning about Ken Long systems, but Ken Long charts really, when I saw his seminar in the VTI seminars, when I saw his charts, I said, I cannot do Ken Long charts. No. You cannot even see the candles, the price from so many indicators he has. I said, I cannot do that. And then Washtek was the one that took his course. And one day Washtek was showing his trading with Ken Long systems. And I'm like, Washtek, your charts don't look like Ken Long charts. They have some indicators, but they don't have all of them. And he said, yeah, I developed my own trading style using only a few indicators instead of using everything he has. And I said, oh, that looks more interesting to me. Are you willing to teach me your system? And he said, yeah, sure, I'll teach you. So the other thing is Ken Long has a lot of systems, right? Gabriel has 3. I don't know how many Ken Long has. Do you know, Gabriel?
Well, his systems are mainly mechanical, right? I don't know, more than 15, I would say.
Yes, for sure. So I don't need to know his systems either, right? Let me start, as Gabriel points out to you guys. This is the other advantage of doing Gabriel's workshop. I learned how to learn to trade, right? So now it doesn't matter what system it is. It can be Ken Long, it can be anything else. I can learn not to go crazy trying to learn everything at the same time. Keep it in small chunks, do it little by little, practice it, simulate it. All this stuff, I'm applying all these things to what I call Washtek system, because it's not Ken Long anymore, it's Washtek system. And I'm only doing one of them. It's the open range trade. If any of you have done Ken Longs, I only do the open range trade. That's it. And it's at the open of the market, and I do that. And in a few minutes, it either goes my way or it doesn't, and that's it. That's all I do. But I do plan to do a little more of Ken Long. But it's all about how I feel at the moment, right? If I feel like going ahead and learning more, I will. If I don't, that's fine too. Oh, and the other thing is I'm trying to apply options to Ken Long, to that open range trade, which has not been easy at all. That's what I have spent a lot of my time lately, is trying to apply, putting in options orders for that open range trade from Ken Long. I'm almost there. I'm not sure if it's working yet or not, because again, I'm concentrating on the process, not the results. Once I can do it flawlessly, the trade itself, then I will start counting and see if the results are good with the options, because options are very tricky. I'm sure some of you have had experiences in terms of price of the auction, the spread that they give you, especially the open. There's a lot of tricks they can play with you. This is the market makers playing with you in options. Yeah, very tricky. I think over 20 for Ken Long. Yeah, you're probably right, Petra. It's probably more than 20. David, well said. Learn how to learn, deep practice. Yes. That's what Gabriel teaches us. Learn. He teaches us how to learn to learn. So it doesn't matter what system I do from here on. I will always, apply the same things that Gabriel is teaching you guys and taught me. And I'm very grateful to Gabriel about that. Thank you, Gabriel. And thank you, guys.
And Claudio,
this helps.
one question. You mentioned that you have connected TradingView to TradeStation as a broker. And
Correct.
How is the stability when you trade?
Oh, perfect. I haven't had any issues. No, that's not true. I did have one issue at the beginning, but I fixed that, and then that's it. No more issues. Yeah, the connection is perfect. I have not used Interactive Brokers, but I have heard that Interactive Brokers does not have a good connection with TradingView yet. I'm sure they will work on it. I'm sure they will get it to work, but this just started a few months ago, this Interactive Brokers connection. So they have to figure out the bumps on the road there.
Claudio, could you also trade with the TradeStation charts directly and TradeStation also as a broker, that you directly use only one?
Yes, you can do that too. I don't do it only because I'm in love with the tool to put the order in TradingView. That tool that automatically calculates your position size. So you put that tool in the test bar, right? This is my stop, this is my entry. You double click, you right click, you say put an order. And when the order window pops up, it already has your position size, meaning how many contracts you can buy for whatever position size you put in before. I'm in love with that tool. And as I think I said this before, without that tool, I'm not sure I could trade 5 and 15 seconds. I'm not sure I could, because that saves so much time right there to do it so quickly that I don't think I will ever go away from that.
But for TradingView, you have to pay each month or yearly some fee.
Correct. As I said before, the best deal is when in Black Friday, they cut it down to almost half, and that's what I've been doing. I did, the first time I got into TradingView, I didn't know about that. And so now every Black Friday, I renew my subscription, annual subscription, and they just add it to whatever time I have, right? So I have, let's say, 6 months left. They add another year to that 6 months. And every year it's going to keep doing the same thing. That's why I said this is a good time for you guys to at least try the 1 month subscription to TradingView, because they give you 1 month for free trial. And then once that month expires, you can pay for 1 month, and then you will be at the Black Friday, very close to the Black Friday.
Which version of TradingView do you have?
Good question. I don't know. Where do I see that?
This is different subscription options.
Oh, the subscription options. I have the premium.
Premium.
Yeah, that's the only one that lets you, I forgot, is it that lets you do the seconds or lets you do the four charts? I forgot. It's the only, I think it's the seconds. If you don't have premiums, you cannot do seconds. I think that is true. Anybody knows? Petra? Oh, Petra is not using TradingView. Sorry.
Yeah,
It's true. Yeah.
having actually setting it up. No, you need the premium for the seconds.
Yes.
Yeah, I confirm. I checked it out yesterday.
Yeah, you need the premium. So the good thing is they do give you, when they give you the free month trial, the good thing is they give you whichever you pick, and you pick the premium, then you pay for one more month, and then you're going to be at Black Friday. So, well, pretty close. A few days before Black Friday, since today is the 21st. When is Black Friday this year? Maybe you can even do that. Just wait a couple of days.
It's normally the second last weekend in November.
Yeah, it's the 23rd of
Yeah.
November.
Okay.
So if you wait 2 days, well, 23rd is Thanksgiving, the 24th is Black Friday. So if you wait until Monday of next week and you start your trial, you will fit perfectly into getting the reduced rate for Black Friday. So on Monday, get your free trial. Then when it expires, you pay 1 month, and then you're there for the lower rate.
I
There's one
think how
question.
do you TradingView, you can also change the price plan. So for example, you can subscribe to maybe not the premium, pay for it, and then when Black Friday comes, you can just upgrade.
That's true. That's a good idea, Petra. You don't have to get the premium when you pay the first month. You can pay for the lowest one they have just to try it, just to keep working on it and getting your logistics right and all that, connecting to your broker, whatever you have to do. And then once you want, now some people may say, I don't want to try seconds, and that is fine. Then you don't need the premium, right? You don't need to pay for the premium. Oh, one more thing I almost forgot, and this is important. WashTech, when I was using Thinkorswim at the beginning, and Thinkorswim doesn't have seconds charts. And WashTech was talking about trading 1, 5, and 15-second charts. And I said, I'm not sure I can do that, WashTech. And he said, just try. Those are WashTech's words. And just in that way, just try. And I said, okay. And then he told me one more thing, and I think that helped me a lot. He said, if you're going to try it, try both of them together, 5 and 15 seconds. Meaning, don't try 15 seconds first and then try 5 seconds later. Try them together. They're the same, he said. You do the same thing for both. And I believe him. At this point, I trusted WashTech, right? We've been together for a while in the group. So I trusted him, and I did exactly that. I went to TradingView, forgot completely Thinkorswim, went to TradingView, set it up, started doing 5 and 15-second trades together. And I said, WashTech, you were right. They're the same. For me, they're the same too. I don't need to do 15 seconds. Oh my God, 15 seconds is going too fast. I cannot do 5. No, both of them, I did them together. It worked for me, and I'm happy about it. That is another one. Orlando wants to know what question I can ask myself. All right, I'll think of something. Let me read the last 2 questions. Are you talking about long short tool in TradingView? Yes, that one. Exactly. That's the one. I saw that second charts in TradingView requires you to have a pro plan active, but I guess it's worth it. It's more than worth it. And it's the premium. Yes. And it's more than worth it. If you want to go to seconds. Petra's idea was good. You don't need to do it the month that you are going to pay for it. Get the lowest rate one. It's fine. But I think the lowest rate one doesn't let you put 4 charts in it. Whatever lets you put 4 charts in it, take that one for that month that you're paying before you renew, before you do it for the whole year. But if you want to go to seconds, then for the whole year, use the use the premium. If you don't want to go to seconds, then keep it where you are. You mean you need the medium price plan for 4? Yes, I knew there was something. Yeah. What would you do differently now during LMP if you could go back in time? Nothing. LMP went very well for me. My only thing is about the simulation, the bootcamp, and I think I could have and should have done more at the simulation point. But the LMP went very well for me. I don't think I would change anything. All right, so what would I ask myself? Well, I guess the only question that I would ask myself that you guys have not asked is, can you can you tell us more about your transformation? And what I mean by this is, can you give us more details about how you went through the transformation that you went through? In this case, me, right? And I have talked about it in several groups already. I don't mind talking about it again, but not right now because it takes a while. And I have given you a lot of the things that I do talk about my transformation, but of course there is more that I can tell you. So at some point in your travels through trading with Gabriel, I will give you the answer to that, and Gabriel already invited me to the summit for the masters, and he wants me to talk exactly about my transformation. So that's another place where I'm going to talk about it. But yeah,
I think we should have a trader chat interview with you, Claudio. I get one that lasts like an hour.
There you go. Look at that. I didn't think I would spend an hour, and I think I went over by a lot. But there were a lot of good questions too, so I appreciate your questions because that keeps me going. And as you can see, I like to talk, and I can talk forever about trading. So Petra knows me very well by now. When I'm with their group, with Petra's group, I am the one that talks the most. By far, not even close, right, Petra?
Yes, but you have a lot to say and a lot to teach, Claudio.
Thank you, Petra, and thank you guys for your questions. That keeps me going. As I told my group when we started the group, by the way, I was the first one that made a group under Gabriel's students. I asked Gabriel, oh, do you think it's a good idea to make a group of students without you? And he liked the idea, and he said, go ahead. And I said, well, give me the emails because I don't know who the other students are. So we sent an email to all the students, and they we started with 10 students, and then it very quickly went down to 6. Now we have 5 in my group. And then in Petra's group, they have about 5 too, active people that keep coming to the meetings.
Yeah, but we are about 5, yeah.
Yeah.
And once we meet together.
And then Gabriel asked me to start up the next generation after Petra, which I call the new group because they are the new master students, and asked me to start them up as a group, and I did, and they loved it, and they thanked me 100 times for doing it for them, and now I'm letting them go by themselves. I said, I'm not going to hold you by the hand and keep you going. You guys have to evolve as a group and get to all the things that I went through. I like that comment. You're a teacher? Suits you then. Yeah. I like to teach. I like to talk. I like to tell people. Oh, and the other thing I'm very transparent about my own life and my own things. I know most people are not like that. People don't like to talk about their own personal lives. I don't mind at all. I can tell you everything about my life with no problem whatsoever. That's another characteristic I have. I'm very transparent. So you can ask me anything and I'll answer it if I know the answer. That's it. I'm tired of talking. Please, Gabriel.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot, Claudia. That was very good. Well, Claudia already mentioned like half a year ago that he went through a big transformation. And I never really knew what that was, but well, I got a really much better idea now. What that looked like. Yeah, I remember him in the beginning. Well, he was a scientist mind with lots of questions.
Very left brain, very left brain.
Well, you mentioned several times WatchTech, so people are asking, hey, what's this WatchTech guy? Who is he? Well, WatchTech is a very interesting, and one of my extreme students as well, right? Like WatchTech, he lives in Poland, and when he joined my work, like together with Claudio 3 years ago, well, he didn't even speak English, right? So he had his brother who spoke a little bit of English. He had him help him translate. And well, he had other tools, I guess, Google Translate and things like that. So he really had a hard time to understand what I was saying, right? And then when we met, like 2 months later, we had our individual one-on-one for the start of the LMP, and that's a one-on-one, right? And I was astonished that we were 3 of us. So he had his brother actually, who then was translating for him. I didn't know that he had that he struggled with English. Well, he didn't know any. Well, now he speaks really well, but he's still a bit shy with English. So it's difficult to get him in front of a camera. And and during LMP, I actually told WatchTech, why don't you take the second chance? I think it fits you. Interesting to hear now that he recommended you. Hey, you should do it. Right?
Yes.
So that's how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I need to say about WatchTech is he already had I think he's right brain. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure he's completely opposite to me. I was left brain. He was right brain. So he needs to come more to balance. And I've been talking to him about that lately, that he needs to balance on the other side. And he agrees, and he says he will come. But he started using he calls his intuition his inner guidance, and that's the name he gave it, right? His inner guidance, and he follows his inner guidance for everything in his life, not only for trading, but he uses it in trading very well with no problem whatsoever. So by seeing that, that also helped me, and I think it was Luis from Petra's group who said, Claudio, you had a big advantage in being together with WatchTech for all that time because they know WatchTech. He has taught them a lot of good things too, but WatchTech is a source of inspiration. Yeah, but Luis pointed out that because I had so much time with him, much more than their group, I really flourish with all the things that he taught us about. So yeah, I agree with that.
WatchTech was a complete trading novice as well. I don't know if I mentioned that. So complete trading novice, he didn't speak English, had difficult to understand the workshop. So don't worry if you don't understand this or that, right? I mean, he did understand like 80%, and he still got there. So and he got there. He was consistent in 4 months after the workshop. That's so far the quickest error, right? So if he could do it, well, you can do it too.
He did put a lot of time in it, though. And he recognizes how much it helped him not having the English issue, because he said, because I didn't understand English very well, I had to repeat over and over the recordings from Gabriel. And that helped me understand at the same time that I was, trying to understand the English part. I was understanding better and better all the rules and everything else. So he recognizes that helped him too, to not having enough English help him in the long run to get all the rules and everything together. Yeah. I'm sure you'll meet WatchTech at one point. There is no way around it.
Okay.